Very beautifully, amazingly said. I'm really happy
Thank
I'm
you.
speaking to you. Is there anything else you like to say or bring up or mention?
Fuck hate.
Beautiful. Uh, could you please tell us your name and introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Jay Wenk. I live in Woodstock, New York. I'm down here again for this memorial. I'm a veteran of World War II. All of us veterans, we're all in the same boat in terms of what we stand for and what we don't stand for. And we've come here to have a memorial for the people who have died in Vietnam and Afghanistan, including many of the innocent civilians who have died in these places. And we've also come here in order to affirm our right to assemble, and in terms of this memorial, to petition the government for redress of the grievances, the war and the wars which have been started and maintained on lies. And I guess I've run out of stuff on that.
Can I ask you, why are you willing to be arrested tonight?
You know, when the anti-federalists put the Bill of Rights into the Constitution, the rights that were there were not automatically granted to people. Citizens of this country were beaten and died and suffered in order to get the rights that we have. And we are continuing that tradition of fighting for the rights that we have. I'm not looking, none of us are looking to be beaten and killed and maimed, but we're continuing that tradition of struggling for the rights that we should have as people, as citizens, as veterans.
How do you feel about the NYPD working with the Parks Department to arrest, veterans at a war memorial? How does this make sense to you?
How do I feel about it? I think it sucks. The idea that there is a closing time on this particular memorial, much less any other. In Washington, D.C., the memorials are open 24/7. In my hometown of Woodstock, New York, the memorial is open 24/7, 365. And the idea that this particular one, which is so tiny, and there's nothing else going on here, there's some benches for people to sit on. It's ridiculous. It's phony, because people are allowed to walk through here and sit down. You can come through. I've come through this place a number of times, and way past 10 o'clock at night, you'll see people sitting down on these benches, walking around with their dogs. They're making us an example. And, it's gaga. It's gaga. And for us, veterans, it's even more gaga. It's a police state that we live in. If you've ever been to a protest, the police are there hemming us in all the time. But you never see the police hemming in the corporations that we may be there to protest. I was in Chicago last year for the NATO protests, and they had 10 zillion cops surrounding us at all moments, but nobody was surrounded at the NATO meetings. This is a police state. And not only is it a police state, but I agree with President Franklin Roosevelt. In 1938, he said, and I quote, when the people of a free democratic society allow an individual or a group to become stronger than that free democratic state, that in its essence is fascism. That's his address to Congress in April 29, 1938. The address was called On Curbing Monopolies.
Very beautifully, amazingly said. I'm really happy
Thank
I'm
you.
speaking to you. Is there anything else you'd like to say or bring up or mention?
Fuck hate. Love your friends and neighbors. Do not let the world change you while you're trying to change the world. Don't accept bullshit. All that good stuff. Listen to George Carlin.
Very well said. He's one of my heroes. You're amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It was very beautifully
Very
said.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Kathy, the only way I could really describe you is a total badass. I mean, you've been arrested 60 times. You don't pay taxes. You traveled the world and documented.
But I want you all to know our struggle and our argument is not with the NYPD. Okay, so as veterans, we ask you to all respect that. We're not here